But with respect to the restitution, I think that's a matter of public record already, because that was already stated by Mr. Bernardo, and he was allowed by the Secretary of Justice.
Yes, earlier you were not forthright in answering that. Nung tinatanong ko, ang una mong sinabi, that's confidential. Now, nagsasabi ka, it is not confidential. So, paiba-iba ka ng position talaga. Hindi tayo magkakasundo.
Mr. Chair, if
I'm not asking any questions anymore.
No, I'm just raising the question to the chairman,
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
You cannot do that.
Get this out of the way, ano? Yusek Bernardo, naikwento ninyo na noong nagsisikay ng sanctuary, nagulat kayo na biglang sumulpot si General Nick Torre. Kindly explain to us kung ano yung circumstances.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. When I was implicated po dito sa flood control, I immediately sought the advice po of the spiritual sector. I mean, lumapit po ako sa kanila, sa simbahan, at humingi po ako ng protection at sanctuary. Ngayon, nung humingi po ako ng sanctuary, after my first testimony po dito, nung nag-testify po ako nung, I think that was September 25, pagkaraan po noon, medyo naka-feel na po ako ng hindi maganda sa pakiramdam ko, ay nagkaroon po ng problema ako sa security or sa family ko. So, isa pong kaibigan ang nagmalasakit sa akin na, kumbaga, lumapit po at dumirekta po sa isang religious, isang respected priest. Ngayon, nung lumapit po ako sa kanya at nakipag-usap po, ay nagkaroon po sila ng parang sinasabi, tutulungan po ako sa isang safe house wherein I was invited, and with my family po, sinama ko po doon sa safe house. Sa isang safe house po, sinama ko po yung 3 anak ko. At sinama ko pa nga po yung aking lawyer eh. Kasi gusto ko pong malaman talaga yung pinaka, ilalagay na ako sa safe house. So, during that time po, medyo nagkakaroon po ako ng takot at pati yung pamilya ko. So, pumunta po kami sa lugar na isang tinuro sa aming safe house. And during the time po, nung dumating po ako doon, ay of course, nandun po yung priest na kausap ko. At nung dumating po kami doon, ay namangha po ako, nandun si General Torre. So, nung nandun po si General Torre, of course, alam ko naman po na during the time, he was already on floating status. But he was still a 4-star general during the time. Kaya lamang wala na po siya wala na po siya sa role ng PNP. So, nakita ko nga po, may patrol pa doon sa labas ng safe house eh. Doon sa malayo po doon, hindi naman po malapit. So, sinama ko po yung aking 3 anak at kasama po yung aking abogado at kasama po yung priest. Nag-discuss po kami regarding security issues. Kasi po, yun lang naman po yung purpose ko eh, to secure my family and myself doon po sa lugar. But nung malaunan po, he told me about the restrictions of yung pong mga bagay na pwedeng gawin sa safe house, mga hindi dapat gawin. So nagkaroon po ako ng, nag-iisip po ako noon. Sabi ko, siyempre, I need to consult with my family kasi 3 anak ko lang po yung kasama ko doon. So nung, nagpaalam po ako because during the time po, I'll be having my check-up. Kailangan ko po magpa-check up sapagkat meron po akong problema sa sinus. So, during that time po, nagpaalam po ako na sabi ko, maybe I can go back after 2 days kasi magpapa-check up naman po ako and I will be seeking the help of my own security. Ako na lang po yung gaganap mismo at nangako po ako na babalik po ako after 2 days. But after 2 days po, ay napag-aduan po namin that for the meantime, medyo nabigla din po kasi mga anak ko dahil siyempre po nanibago po sa sitwasyon namin at marami pong events na nangyari. So, hindi na po ako bumalik doon. So, ang ginawa ko po ay parang naputol na yung aking communication after that time. So, hindi na po ako nagbalik doon.
Was he following up? Bakit hindi ka na bumalik?
I think meron pong during that time, I've got his number po. Doon sa araw na yon, nung gabi po na yon, at nagte-text po siya, kinukumusta po ako ni General. So sabi ko naman po, okay naman ako. But after that po, I decided to reset my phone.
Yeah, ang pagtataka ko lang, hindi ba nag-occur sa'yo under whose authority and in what capacity could General Torre provide security para sa iyo?
Medyo nag-isip din po ako noon while ako naman po buong tiwala ko because of my spiritual advisor, yung pong yung pari po nakausap ko. So, ako naman po nag-iisip din po ako mabuti doon kasi during the time po that we were talking, palabas-labas po siya at may tinatawagan.
Hindi, nasa kanya na. Anyway, alam nyo, kaya lang ako interesado because scatterbat ito Ito, unreliable. Kumbaga sa aming classification, sa military, sa police, F6. No? Hindi A1, F6, pinakamababa. Na meron daw mga testigo na hinahawakan tungkol sa flood control. I don't know if my colleagues here have also heard about this, sabi natin, chismis. Pero very loud yung chismis na may mga hawak siyang ibang testigo. For what reason, or what motive, hindi ko alam. Kaya lang ako nag-interesado when I found out that he also got in touch with you through an intermediary para mag-provide ng security sa iyo. Now that you clarified the matter, no, hindi naman siya persistent.
Hindi naman po, Mr. Chair, kasi after that po, siyempre po, doon po sa, may mga pinararating din ako doon sa aking spiritual advisor, doon po sa, tumutulong sa akin. And I think ang pinarating po sa akin, they were praying with, pinapagdasal po nila ako, ganun. So, ako naman po, on my part, nung nangyari na po yon, hindi ko po alam yung, ano nyo, Mr. Chair, hindi ko po alam yung ganung purpose, kung mayroong purpose sa akin na, but definitely, during the time po, I was in the process of applying for the WPP. Nasa Witness Protection Program application na po ako. And I think, doon naman po, yung akin naman po pagpunta ron, wala pong legality. Halimbawa po, yung sila po yung magko-control sa akin. Hindi ko po, yun, dahil ako naman I was with the DOJ seeking clearance and
At
sa
that
DOJ.
time kasi you were already under evaluation.
Yes po, Mr.
And
Chair.
medyo positive naman yung response ng DOJ sa application mo.
Yes po, Mr.
So I
Chair.
was just wondering, bakit kailangan humingi pa ng protection outside of the WPP?
Mr. Chair, ang pinaka-purpose...
Hindi ka naman pwedeng bigyan ng immunity dun. No.
Mr. Chair, ang akin pong paglapit sa simbahan ay for my family security at sa akin po. At saka po purely spiritual advice. Hindi po dun sa talagang, although they offered me a sanctuary na siyang safe house, pero hindi po yun ang lapit ko sa kanila. Hindi naman po ganun.
Yes, Senator Pangilinan.
On his testimony, just one quick question. Kasi sa testimony, sa affidavit rather ni Yusek Bernardo, nabanggit niya, I can confirm based on my number 7, page 2, my personal knowledge that in some form or another and on various extents, based on current setup, each and every DPWH official employee from top and down line is buffeted with various avenues of corrupt practices. Tama po, di ba? Nabanggit niyo yan.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Tapos sabi po niyo, this is also true for several top officials of other departments or agencies such as DOF, DENR, DOH, DepEd, DA, DAR, DOTR, PCSO, Philippine Co. Tama po ba yun?
Yes po, Mr. Chair. I mentioned that in my affidavit.
Yes. So, ang tanong ng basic tanong, marami pa ba dun sa mga nabanggit nyong mga ahensya, incumbent pa rin?
Mr. Chair, may I consult with my counsel?
Yes, you don't have to say the names. I won't, because that will have to be subject to of another investigation. But we just want to know, dun sa mga personal knowledge mo, mga nakaupo pa ba itong mga ito? Yes. Because this should also be, the DOJ should also be interested in this. If we are really serious about going after all these crooks.
You're right, Mr. Chair. The department is very much interested in that, and that is the reason why these matters cannot be disclosed right now because there are ongoing case build-ups.
No, I'm not asking for any name. I'm
Yes,
just asking for a general question. Meron pa bang mga nakaupo
Yeah, I think
Yes or no?
as far as that question is concerned, it's okay
Yes.
for Mr.
Meron
Bernardo
pa bang
to answer.
nakaupo na opisyal? Yes or no?
Do I have the,
Yes.
the clearance from the...
Just
PG?
yes or no, so that we are made aware.
I think yes po. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Before we leave this topic, nabanggit nyo sa affidavit nyo na si Secretary Bunoan, mentor ninyo, di ba?
Yes po, Mr.
How
Chair.
long have you known him?
I think kahit po nung ako'y isang assistant district engineer or district engineer po.
But you used to be very, very close, hindi ba?
Nagpapasyal po ako sa kanya noon. Siyempre po, kami pong mga from the district engineering offices, ay kumbaga namamasyal po kami sa mga USEC noon during the time
No,
dahil...
hindi yung mga USEC, kay Secretary Bunoan.
Doon po, USEC po siya.
Close,
nung
close kayo. In fact, nag-choke
Opo.
ka noong binanggit mo yung pangalan niya, napansin lang namin yon.
Yes po, close po ako kay SEC.
And wala kang, this is not a leading question, pero wala akong maisip na motibo para implicate mo siya. Other than, sabihin mo yung totoo, hindi ba?
Yes po, I'm after for the truth po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So,
Chair, clarification lang. I noticed, Mr. Chair, when Yusek Bernardo tried to confer with his counsel, the counsel approached him, and then before anything else, he also went to PG Padulyon. Why is that, Mr. Chair?
kasi he's already admitted sa WPP and doon sa kanilang existing na rules, under the rules, kailangan bago sumagot, baka maka-apekto sa kanyang pagka-admit, kailangan talaga may clearance sa DOJ. Thank you.
Medyo magulo yun, Mr. Chair, kasi...
Medyo magulo nga rin, pero yun ang kanilang...
Bakit kinakailangan nyo siyang padalan dito pagkatapos marirestrict din pala? This is an open investigation. Sana walang ganon, kasi nangyari na sa amin yon when the former DOJ was here, habang nag-uusap-usap kami rito, habang nagtatanong-tanong kami, kukunin niya yung isang witness namin o isang resource person, dadalhin sa NBI. Pagdating sa NBI, meron ng supplemental affidavit. Naguguluhan kami sa ganung pangyayari. This is supposed to be an independent committee under the legislature. The DOJ is an executive department. I'm not questioning this, no? But parang magulo lang sa amin. So, kaya ko lang na-point out, Mr. Chair.
Question sa DOJ. Under the WPP, law ba itong yung ganyan? Or sa inyo
Confidentiality,
lang?
yes, Mr. Chair. The matter that pertains in confidentiality of the proceedings as well as the manner by which the witness was evaluated and how he was covered is confidential. That's the reason why it is being invoked by the witness, Mr. Chair, because like I said earlier, it is not because we want to restrict his testimony, but there is a law. The law itself
So it
provides
is the
for-
law
yes,
that says so?
Yes, and it
So-
provides for penal sanctions,
Okay.
Mr.
So
Chair.
to answer the question of the concern of Secretary or Senator Marcoleta, kailangan i-amend yung law pala. No.
That
Chair.
may be one of the suggestions since the committee is investigating this in aid of legislation, if that is considered a restriction in investigations like this, then maybe the law will have to be amended first.
In the meantime, constrain kayo ng batas.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are
Thank you.
constrained by law.
Thank you, PG.
Mr. Chair, kasi yung interpretation niya ang palaging mali eh. Yung confidentiality dyan na pinag-uusapan, sa inyo lang yun, sa witness protection ninyo dyan. Pero pagdating dito, it does not apply. Ikaw lang ang nag-interpret kasi kaya kanina pa tayo nagtatalo eh.
May I respond, Mr. Chair? With all due respect to Senator Marcoleta saying that our interpretation is always wrong, the law itself provides for it, Section 7. And we are not raising this, like I said, simply because we want to constrict the investigation. The law does not make a distinction whether the investigation is going to be done elsewhere or in the Senate or before the House of Representatives. So, we are simply citing the law and we are constrained by the law because, as I said, there are penal sanctions.
So if the law does not provide any distinction, bakit nga kailangan ka pang mag-confer sa ano? Bakit kailangan ka pang puntahan? Ikaw na nagsasabi ng walang distinction di ba? So, kung nandito siya, let him speak. Na hindi na dapat pupunta pati yung counsel niya. Yun lang, mali na eh. Meron siyang sariling counsel, pagkatapos pupunta pa siya sa'yo. It is an insult to his own personal counsel. Kaya magulo talaga eh. Gusto ko itanong halimbawa kay Yusek Bernardo, in-apply nyo na pala siya sa WPP, ni-require nyo siya ng restitution, di ba? Sasabihin mo na naman, that's confidential, kamo na naman.
No, Mr. Chair, I'm not going to say that's confidential.
No, earlier, you were talking about confidentiality. You remember the last time?
Yes, I did mention that, Mr. Chair. I talked
Oh,
about
why are you
confidentiality. But with respect to the restitution, I think that's a matter of public record already. Because that was already stated by Mr. Bernardo and he was allowed by the Secretary of
Yes,
Justice.
earlier you were not forthright in answering that. Nung tinatanong ko, ang una mong sinabi, that's confidential. Now, nagsasabi ka, it is not confidential. So, paiba-iba ka ng position talaga. Hindi tayo magkakasundo.
Mr. Chair, if he
I'm not asking any questions anymore.
No, I'm just raising the question to the
Thank
chairman,
you,
Mr. Chair.
You cannot do that.
Thank you. Are we done? So, sige, let's move on. Kung walang members na gusto magtanong do sa ating dalawang bagong witnesses, no, in relation to the Diskaya Romualdez issue, then we'll excuse them already.
Mr. Chair, gusto ko sanang magtanong lang sana
sige,
kung
go ahead.
papayag ka.
Of course.
Yung tungkol doon sa Tamarid House sa South Forbes, yung binabanggit mo kanina, di ba? And then you were asking for some parang leeway in terms of a few days para i-vacate ninyo because you're not yet ready with all the things that you need to move out, di ba? Sino yung may-ari ba talaga nung bahay na yon?
Your Honor, hindi po kami aware kung sino po yung owner mismo, but we are...
I will answer that. Ang may-ari po dati, Doris Magsaysay Ho.
And you were there as what?
Staff ng tenant. May tenant kasi si Doris Magsaysay Ho na sila nakatira, sila yung staff. So nung nabenta, existing pa yata yung lease contract, so hindi sila umaalis. Pero pinipilit silang umalis nung bagong owner.
And allegedly, ang bagong owner is Martin Romualdez.
Yun ang sinasabi.
Yun ang sinasabi mo kanina
Yes.
at referring to Diskaya.
No, let's based on documents, yung bahay na ibenta sa isang corporation, Golden Peasant Holdings Corporation. Incidentally, the major stockholder, also used to sit in the board of at least 2 corporations associated with the former speaker. Ito yung Benguet, no, Corporation. I think mining yata ito. Yung isa yung may joint venture sa ABS-CBN. Dito yung pangalan. Teka. Romualdez something. And another one, I think Mark Venture something, ano. At saka treasurer siya doon sa, yun nga, yung media company owned by Romualdez, kasi Romualdez Media something na may joint venture sa ABS-CBN. So yun ang association. So, no, we're not trying to implicate the former speaker, ano. Hindi tayo nagta-target dito. Dumating lang sa ating attention, but we cannot disregard because sabi ko nga, there were persistent reports na ang initial information nga sa pangalan ni Diskaya na, or kay Diskaya na ibenta. So it appears now na hindi totoo kasi Ang naging role lang, allegedly, ni Carla Diskaya, yun nga, dumating siya doon, February or January, at sinasabihan sila, umalis na kayo dyan. So yun lang ang pinagtataka natin. So, hindi naman ito enough to implicate or to implead the former speaker. But, this is something that the OJ or the ombudsman or the ombudsman can follow through. No? We are only providing a lead for whatever it is worth. Yun lang ang purpose dito. Because if you really want to go after the so-called, sabi nyo nga, wag yung sapsap at saka mga dilis. Hanapin yung malaking isda. And this is the direction that we are taking. But I repeat, hindi ito enough, itong information is not enough to implicate, not even implicate the former speaker. This is just, we may just consider this as a lead, kasi merong connection. But of course, dininay naman ni Carla Diskaya, so let's leave it at that. So with that, I would like to ask your permission to excuse the two ladies. Meron pa? Sige, okay.
Thank you for the explanation, Mr. Chair. Dito sa code namin, sino si
Pala,
Marie?
Romualdez Media Servicio Production Corporation.
Oo. Sino yung sino yung Joy? So ikaw si May. May, napanood mo ba si Saldico nung siya ay nagpadala ng mga video na kung saan sinabi niya na nag-deliver siya ng 1B doon sa bahay diyan sa Tamarin Road in Forbes. Nasa rito nasa social media to. Lahat napanood to Napanood
Hindi
mo?
ko po siya direkta na panood, pero nung sinabi po, nabanggit po sa amin regarding 30 Tamarind, we got curious about
Oo.
him.
Naging curious ka. Pagkatapos, natatandaan mo ba na sinabi ni Saldico na si Speaker Martin ang nag-designate nung lugar na yon na pagdadalhan ng 1B? Nandun din sa yun. Di ko lang matandaan yung pagkakasabi, pero yung gist ganito niya sinabi. Napanood niyo ba yun?
Wala po akong matandaan na ganong Pero nabasa po namin yung report regarding sa 30 Tamarind.
Yun nga. And then,
Natambakan ng pera.
maaring natatandaan nyo na sinabi rin ni Saldico, doon din sa na yon, sa paghahayag na yon, na si Yusek Jojo Cadiz ang tumanggap na yon ay drop-off lamang ng delivery sa bahay daw ng ating Pangulo. Daw sa Nara. Ando, siya yung nagsasabi siya nagsasalita Napanood ko yun Tinatanong ko lang kung kayo napanood nyo din yung ganong klaseng paghahayag na ginawa ni Saldico.
Hindi po namin nasubaybayan yung mga hearing at saka yung news. Naging curious lang po kami nung nagkaroon na nga po ng report tungkol dun sa 30 Tamarind.
Oh, okay.
So, hindi po namin matandaan yung news na ganun po.
Okay, baka naman gusto nyo rin alisin yung takip para makita namin kung gaano kayo kaganda. Kasi alam ko, magaganda po kayo. Kung okay lang naman po, kung hindi naman, okay din po sa amin.
Actually, request nila Senator Marcoleta na kung pwedeng, kaya nga Elias yung ginamit ko, binuko naman
Oo
yun
nga
yung pangalan
Pero kasi yung kagandahan, hindi pwedeng ipagkait, Mr. Chair. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's move on. So you are excused, Maria and Joy. Elias. Sige. Thank you very much. The OSAA you'll be turned over to the OSAA for your own security. Thank you very much. On a lighter note, kanina kasi, pinapalis natin yung talukbong ni RD Pakanan. Sabi niya, ayaw niya. Alam niyo, sabi ng staff ko, isang Google lang, nandyan yung kanyang, yung kanyang mukha So, bakit kailangan magtakip? Isang Google nga lang, pakita mo nga yung Google. Just a screen. Andiyan ba? Meron ba tayo? Ayan ang mukha mo, Director. Bakit kailangan magtalukbong ka? Public Sabi nga ni Senator Kiko, public official ka eh. Hindi mawawala ng file sa, ayan si Director Pakanan. Sabi ko nga, on a lighter note, kasi wala namang importansya yan. So let's move on. I would like to recognize the Honorable Congressman from the 1st District of Batangas, Congressman Leandro. What can you share with the committee?
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I would be glad to answer any questions that you might have, specifically on the contents of the Cabral files. I also understand that DPWH is here, so perhaps they would be also well positioned to lead the discussion. But with Secretary Manny Bonoan here also, I believe this is a great opportunity to learn more about how the system of the budget allocations have worked. And I have here a printout of the list of over 17,000 projects, and they are actually divided into 12 major tags. Mr. Chair, it would be worth reading the major tags. There is a allocable of 401.3 billion, BINI 10 of 6 billion, BIP on top of 33.4 billion, CENTI 2025 of 100 billion, F1 of 10 billion, N1 Prio 1 of 20 billion, non-allocable of 61.5 billion, OPESAP of 8 billion, OT2 of 21.27 billion, SANDI of 14 billion, Senators of 20.5 billion, and SMB/others of 25.6 billion. This is based, sir, on the copy that I obtained, as well as another copy that I have seen that was separately obtained from the DPWH.
Yeah, may we ask the DPWH, are you familiar with the documents read out by Congressman Leviste?
No, Mr. Chair. We have no copy of
If you are shown
this
a
one.
copy, can you attest to the authenticity of the document? Page, pakibigay nga isang kopya sa kay Undersecretary Bernabe.
Actually, this is just a printout po.
Approved loans for foreign assisted projects, or number 4, fund balance of the GOCC. In 2025, Mr. Chair, tinanggal po ang excess revenues in the total tax revenues and fund balances of the GOCC. Just to set the record straight, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Erwin. Wala na? Manifest lang ng Chair. Before we suspend, show cause orders have been sent to the following. Mr. Mario Lipana, COA Commissioner. Former Congressman Elizalde Saldico. Mr. John Paul Estrada. Mr. Mark Texay. Mr. Orly Regala Gutesa. Mr. Virgilio C. Eduarte. And they're given 2 days to respond to the show cause order. So, that said,
Sorry, Mr. Chair?
yes.
I'm not sure po kasi kung we'll have a chance to ask Secretary Bonoan again. Would it be okay,
We'll
sir?
have to suspend the rules and with the permission of the Senate President.
Or I could ask you po to ask.
Through the chair, pwede.
Yes.
Sige.
Sino po kaya ang BINI 10, CENTI 2025, F1, at yung iba pong mga nakatag na mga pangalan po dito? And pangalawa po, para sa unprogrammed appropriations, paano po ng DPWH pinipili yung mga projects na yon?
Secretary Bonoan, can you respond?
Your Honor, I would not know actually kung ano yung mga kwan ni Secretary Cabral. Well, I'm just puzzled about these files, Your Honor. With all due respect, si Congressman is a member of the House of Representatives. Would it have been better actually if the House of Representatives authorized actually the good congressman to officially request for this kind of information or data from the executive branch? So that everything would have been not official. You see, if we are talking of things that have not been made official actually at all, no? If there were conversations, authorization from the secretary, Secretary Dizon and Yusek Cabral. These are informal arrangements to him, and I don't know what would have been the motive actually behind actually getting all this information from the Department of Public Works and Highways, which is a different agency to the legislative branch.
We would just want to help the Blue Ribbon Committee and the Public Accounts Committee of Congress. And if I could just reiterate the second question, if possible, if Secretary Bonoan would be able to shed light on how projects in the unprogrammed appropriations in 2023 and 2024, which I understand were around 60 billion and 153 billion respectively, were selected by the DPWH.
Kindly respond.
Your Honor, I can recall that in 2023, there were unprogrammed appropriations that were given, that were released to the Department of Public Works and Highways to augment the budgets that were cut during the to augment the budgets that were cut in the during the in the General Appropriations Act. Now, for example, in the BICAM, let's say the budget that we proposed is about 37 billion, and only 2 billion was released. We requested for augmentation of that fund. For maintenance, it was reduced to the minimum. Then they augmented it from the unprogrammed funds. For foreign assisted projects, it was cut drastically from 70 billion, as I can recall, 70 billion to only 20 billion. So I think in our request, Mr. Chairman, since there were available unprogrammed funds, we requested them for augmentation. And these were the things that were released actually to the Department of Public Works and Highways. Now, these are the things that we received from the unprogrammed funds in 23, Mr. Chair.
And I agree, no? At least a portion na pang-augment talaga yan eh. Kasi yung program, sabi ko nga kanina, under the special purpose, di ba? That's part of the special purpose fund. Ang gamit nito, kung kukulangin, halimbawa, fluctuation, nagkaroon inflation, kailangan ng augment, kukuha sa program based on certain conditions, no? Na enumerate those under the special provisions. Okay, so hearing is suspended. You'll just be notified. Thank you very much. Thank you all.